Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Matty here from Chill TCG. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Grand Finals match from Chill Series number 17 that wrapped up just yesterday as I record this on Wednesday. The tournament was awesome. We had 220 players, and the Grand Finals match was a really good one to watch. We're going to be watching Joshua Sutherland's Lucmetal versus Alberto Benvenga's Centiskorch V This game went to game 3, no spoilers. But it was an absolutely fantastic match. We're going to be watching it from the perspective of Joshua Sutherland, who I believe lost his coin flip and will be going first here. Both players mulligan to start off the game, and it looks like Josh is going to be getting that start with the, with the Zamazenta V. Now, one thing I do want to note, this matchup is going to be a lot closer than you guys think, and there's a few reasons for that. Joshua Sutherland is running, he's got 3 Crushing Hammers in his deck. It's a typical Lucmetal. But he is running 4 Coating Energies, while Alberto, his Centiskorch list, is not running any Fire Crystal, and he's also not running any Giratina to get rid of those Coating Energies. So both players are gonna have to play it really smart. By no means is this still a great matchup for for Joshua and Lucmetal, but it's very winnable, and it's gonna be a much closer match than you guys could think. So we're gonna see that. In fact, Joshua is going. He's going second, actually, which is good. So he won that coin flip. That's my mistake. And Alberto, he's going to be starting off with Volcanion, and he gets that Centiskorch V on the bench. Now, starting off with Volcanion is typically very good, especially when you're going second. But he is not. He's going to be going first, and it's technically not the best option. We'll see. So he's going to elect to just attach there to the Centiskorch V. That probably makes the most sense. We see a Crushing Hammers come out early game. He does get the heads there. Very good to see. Always good to start the game. He's going to put the Poké on the bench and put the Metal Goggles on his Zamazenta V. He's kind of figuring, do I put this Lucmetal down? Is it really worth it? And to me, I don't feel that it is. And he's going to elect to do the same. So very smart play by Joshua. Now, when you're playing this matchup and you're Alberto here, you know that Joshua's got 2 Zamazenta Vs in his deck, and oftentimes it might not be smart to even evolve into that VMAX, because if you do, there's really not much that you can do to knock out that Zamazenta, especially with the Coating Energy, and he does find it there, that turn 1 Coating Energy, and he does get an energy on the Zacian there with the Intrepid Sword, and draws another Coating Energy. So definitely a really good start there from Joshua. He's got the Poké on the active spot. Alberto, though, he does find the Jirachi, and he does find that Heatran. Now that Heatran's going to be extremely useful in this matchup. It can hit through the Zamazenta, and it can hit through really anything, right, that Josh has. However, with the damage reduction with the Coating Energy, he's going to have to load that thing up with energies if he wants to get a KO on either these Zamazentas or Zacians. He's got to be careful, because the Zacian will KO that thing in one hit, as well as its Centiskorch Vs, right, for 2 prizes. So you're definitely going to have to play this matchup smart. He goes into Dene's out, moves that Jirachi into the active spot. Now, the thing here is Alberto is in a position where he has 3 2-prize Pokemon on his bench. This means that potentially, right, Joshua has, he has win condition right now on this board state. He just needs to find a way to make that happen. Okay, and we're gonna see Alberto here. He's gonna thin through his deck a little bit more. He's gonna discard that boss's orders with the Giant Hearth, draw 2 Fire Energies, and he's gonna use Welder here. And he's gonna be able to put 2 more energies on this Centiskorch V. Does he have a 3rd one in hand? Of those 7 cards, he does. Actually, he's got a VMAX, so he's going to evolve the VMAX, and he will put an energy onto the Jirachi just to get the retreat off, and he is going to KO this doll here with the VMAX. Now, this isn't a terrible decision. This VMAX is kind of a tank, right? So you can build up energies on this VMAX, eventually switch into the Heatran and get a KO. But the only difficulty with this is that after you get that KO with Heatran, right, it's kind of just in a lot of risk of getting KO'd, and you potentially lose a lot of energies. And like I said, Alberto is not running any Fire Crystal, so he really has to pay attention to the long game here. So right now, Joshua, he does have Quick Ball, so we can discard that Metal Energy. He's going to do it with Giant Hearth. Never mind, I believe he misclicked there. I believe that was a misclick. He Giant Hearthed away the Quick Ball instead of the Metal Energy. And now he cannot use the Quick Ball. So that is that's very not great for Josh there, getting that misclick and accidentally discarding the Quick Ball. That's going to be a little bit difficult for him. We'll see if he's going to be able to get the win regardless. But definitely unfortunate when you make the wrong click here in PTCGO, because you cannot go back on that decision. We're going to see that Alberto does get the quick ball off, and he's going to be searching his deck for potentially another Centiskorch V. Again, very useful to KO things like the Zamazenta V. He can Radiating Heat, I believe it is, which discards an energy from both Pokemon. That could be a very good way to get rid of the coating energy since he is not running any Giratina in his deck. Excuse me. He's going to go ahead and, so he's going to put the Centiskorch V on the bench. He does have a second Welder, which he's going to pop off with those 2 fire energies that he grabbed from Giant Hearth. He's going to put them on the Centiskorch V on the bench. And now he is going to just go ahead and kind of pass his turn, right? He can't do any damage against that Zamazenta V. Josh, he's going to put the energy on that Zacian V. He does have the boss, and he's going to boss up that Heatran, and he's going to switch in and get the KO. Now, he's in a position here where nothing at the moment is getting the KO on this Zacian V. However, that Centiskorch VMAX can definitely get the KO if it's able to get a few more energies on. However, this Heatran is a big danger. It's a big, it's dangerous for Joshua here. That GX Pokemon. So he's going to go ahead and he's going to, he's going to get rid of that thing early game. Take 2 prize cards. Does find a Zacian, and I didn't actually see what he drew other than that. It might have been that Metal Energy here. Now he's in a position. Okay, so there's the Welder. He plays the Eldegoss, finds the Welder, and he can grab 2 more energies in hand, and he will be able to get the KO here on this Zacian V. The Centiskorch is absolutely incredibly dangerous. However, now, right, if Josh is able to maybe set up that second Zacian in time, KO that other Centiskorch V, then, he can kind of outplay his opponent to the point where, he's going to run out of energies or run out of resources to get any KOs on that Zamazenta V. The Heatran's dead. If he KOs this Centiskorch, there's a lot of things that are going to happen here. This Centiskorch VMAX has 6 energies onto it, and that Centiskorch V has 3. That's 9 energies, and I believe that Alberto is only running 13 energies in deck, and I believe there's also some energies in his discard pile as well. So Josh is going to have to elect to promote that Zamazenta V. He's going to look through his discard pile. He's going to be like, listen, what's my plan right now? He will attach energy to Zamazenta V. He doesn't put down that Zacian, although I believe that Zacian's probably going to be really important in the long run here. And he's just going to Marnie out. He thinks that Marnie is probably his best choice right now. He wants to get that hand of Alberto's down to as small as possible. Does find another Zacian, and he does find a boss's orders, so that could actually be very important for next turn. He can attack into this VMAX. Like, he can do damage to it, but it is a 3-hit KO, which is just a little bit awkward. And also considering how, that Centiskorch V does have 3 energies, just 1 energy away from potentially just hitting Zamazenta there for a good 190, minus 30 from the Metal Goggles. So we'll see. We'll see what both players kind of choose here to go into the late game. He does find that 4th energy on the Centiskorch V. He must be running pretty low on energies in his deck. He's going to hard retreat out of Centiskorch VMAX, and he's going to elect to probably hit this thing with Radiating Heat, yes. And that will be doing no damage, of course, but it will be discarding the metal coating energy from Zamazenta V, as well as a fire energy from Centiskorch V. This kind of seems like it's a little bit counterproductive at first glance, but in reality, it's very, very it's a very good play because, Josh only has 1 coating energy left in deck, and he really needs to get a KO on this Centiskorch V in order to really have a chance here going into later in this game. He sees that there's 10 energy in play or in the discard for Alberto. There might be 1 or 2 in his prize card, so he's kind of hoping that at some point, if he gets another KO on the Centiskorch V, that he will be running out of energy, Alberto, that is. And that's kind of, I think, Josh's game plan to some respect, right? I mean, you can kind of stall in some ways, right, against with coating energies and against that VMAX, right? There's things that Alberto just can't really do. And I think that second Zamazenta V is going to be incredibly useful, even if he doesn't have a way to attack with it with energies. It's just going to be good, like I said, to stall him out. So at this point, I don't know if you attach that energy because you really want to find coating, or else like you're 1 attachment away from getting KO'd from the Zamazenta V. Your opponent has already taken 2 prize cards, so I guess it's not the end of the world if you do. But he's going to go ahead for the stalling play, and he's going to boss up Centiskorch VMAX, which seems to be definitely an interesting play. Probably not a bad play. I don't know. He hasn't checked the discard. I don't know how many switches that Alberto has used yet. But this could be a very important play here. Getting some damage off on this VMAX could be the difference. And he's going to go ahead and elect to attach to the Zacian V an Intrepid Sword. He does find the coding in a Metal Saucer. So this means that Alberto, I mean, he can manually retreat out of the Centiskorch, right? Which isn't great. Oh, wait, there's the Big Charm. The Big Charm's clutch because that puts the Centiskorch V out of range for that Zacian KO, I believe, which is just not ideal. Not for Joshua, but Joshua is running Tool Scrapper in his deck, so I don't know. I haven't seen his discard. I don't know if he's discarded the Tool Scrapper already. That could be very important for this matchup. You definitely want to have that. He does put the 4th energy on Centiskorch V. We do see a Boss's Orders. Is that going to be into the Zacian? Yes. And he's going to just go ahead and KO that with Centiskorch V Max. So that's very unfortunate for Josh there. That Zacian was very, very important for sure. And I think at this point, with no boss at hand or really any way to gust up that Centiskorch V, we do see a Tool Scrapper that could be pretty huge in the Hammers, Flips, Tails, which is always not great. Augusto is only running 1 Big Charm, so he's going to go ahead and just discard that freely. We're going to see him Metal Saucer onto this. Yep, there we go. And he's going to attach to the active Marnie out. This seems to be probably his best decision. I don't know if he has any boss left in deck. We do see a Cynthia and Caitlyn, so he could grab the boss potentially. But Augusto is going to have to find a way here to either manually retreat out to get some damage off on the Zamazenta V, or right, he's going to have to find a switch card or anything like that. But 4 energies on both the Centiskorch V and the V Max, not great. He does have the switch card, which means he won't have to manually retreat. And we do see the boss's orders coming out, and that's going to be a KO for his 6th prize. So a very interesting game 1. Of course, was a little bit one-sided. Alberto definitely drew kind of some really good cards. Those boss's orders came in clutch. And Joshua didn't exactly get everything he needs, but I think that after this matchup, you can kind of see that Joshua, he can smell victory. Like, he can taste it. He knows that this path is something that he can do, right? It's winnable, and he just has to play it smart. Has to get a little bit lucky, I think, but at the same time, definitely he's going to come back. And in a best-of-3 match, right, you can kind of pivot off of that first game and really kind of replan your strategy. So he's going to elect to go second, even though I thought he went second in the first game. I guess he didn't. I guess he went first. So, yeah, we're going to see him go second, which is actually very good. Like, that's very good. Oh, no, he did, right? He just lost. That's my bad. Completely my bad. Okay, yeah, so he's going to go ahead. He's going to get another mulligan, which is not great. That's 2 mulligans in a row. He doesn't have too many Pokemon in his deck, so I guess it's not out of reach for him to mulligan several times in a best-of-3. But yeah, we're going to see him start off with the Zacian V. 2 Metal Goggles, no coding energy here. He does have Quick Ball. He can Marnie out, so he definitely has some possibilities here. Definitely has some possibilities. I think his best bet at this point, the thing is, yeah, I mean, next turn he can go into the VMAX, right, because he is going first. So you definitely want to find that coding energy. It's going to be very, very important. We do see that Alberto finds the second Centiskorch V, but he doesn't attach an energy, which is actually very interesting. And at this point, yeah, I think you do discard a mental energy since you do have 2 in your hand. I think grabbing Zamazenta is going to be very, very smart. Yeah, and he's going to go ahead and put the goggles on because, why not? You know what I mean? It's only going to help him. And yeah, and I think he's already out. I don't think you actually attached. I think you really need to find that coding energy. He does not find the coding energy, Josh, but that is... It's not super ideal. He can't switch into the doll and protect kind of his Zacian here for this turn. This means that, Alberto, if he needs to welder to get energies on, then he's not going to be able to boss up any of these doggos on Josh's bench. So I think he's safe for this turn. We see he's got a hammer in head. That could be pretty clutch. And he does have a way to research out, which means he's not going to be able to boss or anything this turn. But, potentially he could draw into some pretty good cards next turn as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Alberto, he goes for the Pokecom to find the VMAX. He gets that Jirachi in the active spot. He's going to Pokecom again. And he's probably going to grab Dedenne here and Dedenne out. So a very decent turn. Or a Crobat. Yeah, that makes probably some sense. That's a very decent turn here for Alberto. I like to see it. He's going to draw 5 cards, go right back up to 6. He's going to grab the Giant Hearth, which is also a really good play. So definitely a good turn here so far for Alberto. Not looking absolutely fantastic from Josh. But, you never know. And there's a great boss, potentially just looking through all of the deck here, finding all of the cards. He's going to find his Centiskorch V. Could he put a third Centiskorch V down? Now he's going to Poké Comet, potentially grabbing the Dedenne. And I believe Alberto is running 2 Dedennes in deck. He's got 2 bench spaces left. He does grabs the Jirachi. Okay. Oh, okay, so he had Dedenne in hand, actually, so he's just going to discard the Jirachi. Wow, he just has it like that. Going through a lot of cards in his deck this turn, about 25 cards. So very impressive little turn here. And we're going to see if, we haven't seen an attachment. We haven't seen a welder yet. He is giant hearting away fire energy for 2 more fire energies, which means he definitely has the welder, and he does. Is he going to put it on the V or the V Max? He goes and puts it on the V Max. And does he have the switch to switch in and KO this doll? That is a big question. If he doesn't KO this doll, he pretty much leaves a whole other turn of him either having to use boss's orders or just have another turn waited out. He's going to go ahead and he's not going to KO it, which means he probably has boss in hand. Josh is going to flip Hammerheads once and twice. He's going to knock off an energy on the Centiskorch V and the Centiskorch V Max, which is actually very, very good, and he's going to Marnie him. He's going to Marnie Alberto back down to 4 cards in hand. Grabs the Lucmetal, not incredibly good. Doesn't find a coding energy either, and that second Hammerhead, or that third Hammerhead doesn't hit. And this is not super great for him. It looks like he's going to have to just split some energy here between the Zamazenta V and the Zacian V. Doesn't have a coding energy in hand, so you might as well just attach it. We see an Intrepid Sword come out. He does find the Research and 2 more dogs, but he's not finding the coding energy, man. This stall is getting very, very suspicious here, as long as... well, I think he's fine, because... Well, realistically, like Alberto, he needs a switch, potentially needs a welder, and he also needs boss, right? So getting KO'd is probably not something that Josh is too worried about. He does find the switch. And I guess that Centiskorch V can attack for 2 energies, but I don't believe it's knocking out the Zamazenta, or sorry, the Zacian, with the goggles, right? So we'll see. We'll definitely see. Or maybe it is, right? 240, I think it does, with weakness. Which is exactly, yeah. So maybe it is. Okay, so no attacks at all from Augusto, and this has been a pretty successful stall here. He's going to discard all of those cards in hand. Really hoping to find a Tool Scrapper as well, because that big charm was put on the Centiskorch V. He does find the coding energy. He's going to put it on the Zacian. He's going to put that coding energy right on that Zacian. And it looks like he's just going to, so he's going to attach goggles. I think that's a smart play as well. And he's going to Intrepid Sword, man. He's really just waiting this out. Really waiting this out. I think putting the coding energy on the Zacian was smart because that Zamazenta V, of course, is immune to the V Max, and that's the only Pokemon with energy. And he's not going to be able to set up the Centiskorch V in 1 turn, which means that, making sure that Zacian doesn't get hit out, KO'd by weakness is going to be very, very important. So effectively, this thing has 240 HP with no weakness, and that is actually a very, very bulky Pokemon, which does hit for 230. So that Pokemon is very dangerous right now. This Centiskorch V Max, I believe he needs like 2 more energies, or 3 actually, to get the KO on this Zacian V at this point. And we're going to see Augusto here. He Stellar Wishes. He finds the Quick Ball. Does find the switch card into the V Max. He's going to put 1 energy onto Centiskorch V, and he will finally get the KO on this Dolls here. Now, I think his best play, because he does have 3 energy now, Joshua, is to go into this. Is to go into the Zamazenta, because Alberto is just 1 welder away from getting the KO on that Zacian, even with the coding energy. So he's going to go ahead and Guzma Hala away 1 Zacian. He's got 2 in hand, 1 on board. I think that's smart. And he's kind of thinking, do I really need Stealthy Hood or anything right now, or do I even need Lucmetal? There's plenty of things that he could be discarding here. He's going to find that other coding energy and that other Stealthy Hood. He's got boss's orders in hand. I'm not sure if this is necessarily needed. We do see an Assault Tackle. So yeah, he's just going to go ahead and pass his turn here. And I think that this is a pretty smart play. Again, you kind of just really need those Zacians to stay alive. As long as those Zacians, or at least that 1 on his bench, can stay there without getting bossed and KO'd, then you can really chip away on this VMAX and potentially just switch into that Zacian, boss's orders up anything on his bench and get a nice 2-prize KO, which could be the difference here. But, Josh, he's going to have to play the long game. He's going to have to play it smart. He's going to have to manage his resources properly, and he's really just going to have to think ahead of time. So now we're up to Alberto here. I think Alberto is kind of like, he knows that he's not in an amazing position, and he probably really doesn't want to win this. He's going to switch into the Centiskorch V. Most likely, he's going to attach an energy as well. Yeah, we're going to see a Radiating Heat here. Now, this is important. This means that Josh doesn't have to boss his orders, but he does, in fact, he does need that that Tool Scrapper. And that Coding Energy is gone. It's in the discard pile now. Only one on board. That means there's probably 2 left in deck, if none are prized. It does have a Mallow Lana to switch, but he doesn't have any way to get energies on, so this is a very awkward turn here. It's a very awkward turn. And this Centiskorch V is potentially like a welder and an attachment away from getting the KO on this Zamazenta V, even if he or you know what I mean, right? So yeah, he's gonna have to just okay. So he does. He defensively bosses orders into the VMAX, forcing him to manually retreat out or get a switch card. And he goes ahead and Intrepid Swords. Doesn't find anything too great off the Intrepid though. But again, thinning your deck, not bad. He's got 15 cards in deck. We do see that Alberto goes for the Giant Hearth, grabs 2 more energies. We do see the Welder, and he probably will be putting that on the V. And if he has 1 more attachment in hand, that's going to be the KO on the Zamazenta. It's not the end of the world. Realistically, he can, if he does find Tool Scrapper and an attachment, KO it with Zacian, and then he does have that second Zamazenta to deal with the VMAX. But again, it's not necessarily like it's not great right now. Does have 2 Metal Saucers in hand as well, so like if it comes down to it and this Zamazenta gets KO'd, he can just get those energies back onto his benched Pokemon. He's got 9 energies out of play at this point. He's got 3 and 3 with 3 in his discard, which means I think he's got 4 left in deck or in discard, or in his prize card. So we're going to see him quick ball away the Volcanion. And he does grab a 3rd Centiskorch V. But like I said, I think he has 4 energies in total left in deck. Ooh, we see a reset stamp. He's going to reset him to 6. And this is actually pretty ideal, I think, for Josh. Doesn't find a boss. Doesn't find actually a lot of stuff. Which is kind of interesting when you think. I mean, that Tool Scrapper would have been super, super clutch. But we just haven't seen it. But I guess he can Marnie into it. Because he doesn't have to boss, right? He is going to be manually retreating, actually, into this Centiskorch V. So if Josh is able to find Tool Scrapper, and if he's find an energy to get a KO here on this Centiskorch V, then this puts Alberto in a very tough position, especially considering that he doesn't have many energies left in deck. I mean, he does have Heatran, which could be clutch. We do see the attachment. Is he gonna quick ball? Gonna thin away his deck a little bit? I think you grab the Zacian. I don't know. Do you bench this thing? That is the question. I think you do, right? Just because this if this Zacian gets KO'd, you're definitely gonna need you're definitely going to need something else to get that last KO, right, for the last 2 prizes. If I were him, I would bench the Zacian, but I think he's kind of deciding. Right? Does he quick ball away the Lucmetal, try to thin out his deck a little bit? He is actually he's going to discard the Zacian. Wow, okay. So he's just ride or dying with these last 2 dogs here. He's going to see, he does get Tool Scrapper, and he does get Double Saucer as well, which is actually a very, very good hand. What he drew into right now is very, very great. So he will be getting the Scrapper off on this the Centiskorch V, which means he will be getting the KO with Zacian, and this Zacian does have Coding Energy, which means that it's just going to be difficult in general for any Pokemon to KO this Zacian. He's going to have to hit for potentially 5 energies on that Heatran, which I don't even think he can do. I think he only has 4 energies left in deck. So I think that Josh is in a very good position right now. We see him grab a Metal Energy, Coding Energy off the discard pile. So definitely not bad. Next turn, he can fully set up the Zamazenta V with 2 Metal Energies and a Coding Energy. He can switch in. He can do whatever he wants here. Let's see what Augusto does. He Pokecoms for away Jirachi, which means he probably will be grabbing. Oh, he grabs Eldegoss. Okay. This will be his last board spot available, which means he will not be playing Heatran if he does do this. Heatran might be in the prize cards. Oh, and he's going to say, I go second, so he sees the running on the wall, man. An incredible comeback game for Josh. A very interesting game. Like I said, man, these matches, they just go down to the wire, and it really comes a battle of attrition here between these 2 decks, and just a fantastic game played by both players. And like I said, without the Fire Crystal to get the energies back, without the Giratina to get rid of the Coding Energies, this matchup is pretty awkward for Centiskorch. A lot more awkward than you might think. Those Metal Coding Energies in the Goggles and Zamazenta V, it's just a very impressive core. And we're going to go into a strong Game 3 here for Chill Series 17 Finals. And, of course, Joshua is going to have to go first here, which isn't ideal. If this Centiskorch gets like a perfect start, if he gets the Volcanion, if he gets the Welder, and he gets the Flare Starter, it's just going to be a very difficult matchup for Josh here. But you never know. You never know exactly what's going to happen. we see him start the game with Tool Scrapper and his Zamazenta V in the active with his Zacian on the bench. So not terrible, but we do not see an attachment, no coding energies or anything this turn. He's going to have to Intrepid Sword. He does find the coding energy, but again, no attachment turn 1, and that's never super ideal. Let's see if the Centiskorch gets a hot start or not. All right. So Alberto does start with the Volcanion in the active spot and gets the Centiskorch V on the bench. He's going to attach a fire energy to the Volcanion. If he's got Welder, that could be pretty clutch. If not, even just the Flare starter to get 3 energies on that Centiskorch V is going to be very good for him for sure. So I think that Josh is a little bit disappointed to see that Volcanion in the starting position. But, at the same time, he can't ask for too much. Doesn't get the Welder. And I guess it's not as bad as it possibly could be. We see 1 Crushing Hammer in hand. He's got 3 Marnies and a Research. Except you do not want to get rid of that Tool Scrapper. That Tool Scrapper definitely will be the difference, right? So I think that you cannot Research here, which is a little bit not ideal. But, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Alberto stalling to put that 3rd energy on the Centiskorch V. I'm not sure. He's probably just looking through his deck, and he's just going to go ahead and put the second, so he's thinking, he's going to put the second one on that Volcanion. I think that was actually pretty smart. We see him draw a 2nd coding energy, which is actually pretty interesting. Does he elect to put it on the Zacian? He's kind of thinking which one is more valuable to keep around. He's going to go and hit Hammer's Heads, and I think at this point, you do probably take it off the active. A 2nd Hammerheads could be super clutch for him. And he's going to elect a Marnie just because, he really needs that Tool Scrapper and all of those other resources, as well as that coding energy. You really cannot discard that hand. We see a Doll and a Switch, so this means that he could potentially go for another stall, just like he did last game. It was a pretty valid tactic. You kind of hope that your opponent doesn't get what he needs. That's kind of what this play is based off of. But again, it's better than nothing, and he can end his turn comfortably with Intrepid Sword. What does he find here? Nothing too interesting. He does find a Goggles and a Quick Ball. That Stealthy Hood's not going to help him in this matchup, but we'll see. What does Alberto do here? Now, again, he can potentially boss, but he can't get 2 energies on that Centiskorch without Welder. But if he just manually attaches to this Volcanion and bosses, that will be a KO on the Zacian, which could be very clutch. But we'll see. Actually, it is, I believe. Yeah. Is Volcanion hitting for 110 or 120? I don't actually remember. If it's 120, then it's the KO. If it's 110, it's not because of the Metal Goggles. But we're going to see he doesn't really have much in hand, so he's going to put down a 2nd Centiskorch V, and he will be probably Dedenaing out this turn. He did find the Dedenne, so... Okay, he does actually have Welder, so he's going to Welder for 1 on the Volcanion, draw 3 cards. Excuse me, and he's going to manually attach to the Centiskorch. There is the Big Charm. So Joshua definitely not... too disappointed that he didn't get rid of that Tool Scrapper, but now he's definitely in a position where he needs to find it. We see another Switch card. Guzma Hala is going to come out, so he will find that 2nd coding energy. He's going to discard the Quick Ball and the Hood. It's an interesting play. And he's just going to go ahead and grab some Goggles and some coding energies. He's going to, get rid of the weakness on that Zacian, put the coding on that Zamazenta V, and he's going to have to just Intrepid Sword to pass his turn here. So not looking super ideal. He can Research out next turn. Really, I think what he wants, interestingly enough, is for that Centiskorch V to come in. He wants that Centiskorch V to come in, and he wants to Radiating Heat. Because you just want that Centiskorch V to come in general, because potentially you could set up that Zacian next turn, and you could find the the Tool Scrapper to get rid of that Big Charm. And we're going to see a manual retreat here. Whenever you see a manual retreat from Alberto, it's a little bit sketchy because he's not running any Fire Crystals. So getting rid of those Fire Energies early game might not be the best move for him in the long run. Again, this Centiskorch really has to balance its resources, and that's not something that Centiskorch typically really needs to do. So we'll see here. I think a Radiating Heat is going to be his best play, just to get rid of that coding energy early in the game. It's probably your best move. But again, you also get rid of an energy from yourself. So again, discarding 3 energies this turn to just only get rid of 1 for 1 against Josh here, and that's not super ideal. Now, Josh's hand isn't particularly great right now. I think, yeah, just playing Research is probably your best bet. That Boss's Orders isn't particularly needed right now. You really just need to get out of this dead hand. We're going to see what he draws into. He draws into a Hammer, 2 Zacians, a Coding Energy, or not a Coding Energy, just a normal energy. So this isn't ideal. This means that he does have Boss, though. So this means that Alberto, if Alberto is able to get a Welder and 2 energies onto the Centiskorch, then he will be getting the KO on the Zamazenta. But if he doesn't, this means that Josh could potentially find a way to switch back in. No Tool Scrapper yet, so he cannot KO the Centiskorch yet. But again, he has Marnie. He's got plenty of ways to draw out. 2 more Zacians that he can use. And we see Alberto. He does find the Jirachi. This is becoming a very interesting game 3 here. It doesn't look like both players have exactly what they need. He's going to manually attach here to this. Okay, so we are just going to see a Radiant Heat. That is super huge, actually, for Josh. And this means that his Zamazenta V is living, and potentially he can get the KO on the Centiskorch V here with Zacian. So I think his best option is to just... Actually, I don't think you attach. I don't think you attach because you really do want to go ahead and find that Coding Energy. You have 2 left in deck, 23 cards in deck, and you can Marnie him. But Marnie's also kind of a tough decision because at the same time, you know that his hand wasn't particularly great based off of what he did last turn. We are going to see a Marnie come out. What does he find here? Oh, he finds the Scrapper and a Coding Energy? What? But he does not find a way to switch. But still, this is definitely not a bad turn at all. This does force him, force Alberto to Radiating Heat again next turn. You can Scrapper off that Big Charm. You can Marnie out next turn. You can potentially do a lot of things here. He's going to go ahead and so he's going to discard that Big Charm. And I think putting the Coding Energy on Zamazenta is pretty smart, and we're going to see just him draw 3 more cards here with Intrepid. Do you put that energy on Zacian? No, I don't think you do. Okay. So we're in business here, Josh. He's kind of feeling like he has some room to do something right now. Again, Heatran is a factor. Heatran is very scary. We haven't seen him evolve into a VMAX yet, which he might actually. Well, the thing is, he could evolve into a VMAX this turn. Like, I'm not saying he couldn't, right? I'm not saying that would be a bad decision. But these Centiskorch Vs as well as the Heatran are the only ways you're going to be able to KO this Zamazenta. And I think if you don't target the Zacian, then of course, that Zacian will be able to KO your Centiskorch Vs or your Heatrans, and you're going to run out of energy in the long run. So Alberto really has to think about what his best move is going to be coming up. We're going to see him Welder 2-1 to the benched Centiskorch. I didn't see how many energies were in his discard pile. That's important info. I didn't actually get to see it. But I think at this point, Josh is kind of okay. Like, he's okay with what's happening right now. His hand isn't terrible. It's not amazing, but he can Marnie out. And we see the Giant Hearth come out, so he's just going to find 2 more energies, which means he will be able to put a 4th one or a 3rd one on the active or the benched Centiskorch. But I feel like this active Centiskorch is just going to have to get away with Radiating Heat yet again, and he's probably going to have to attach to the active spot. But again, this isn't super ideal, to be fair. So Josh here, it is kind of a catch-22, because if Josh does go into that Zacian, KOs the active Centiskorch V, he has to hope that his opponent doesn't find the VMAX, because then he'll just go into the VMAX, attach some more energies, and then KO this Zacian with the VMAX. So he does put the 3rd one onto the benched Centiskorch V. I think that's the smart decision from Alberto. And we're going to see Josh here. He finds the Mallow, so that's actually a switch. And I think that's a very clutch card. I think he's just going to have to go ahead and play Mallow. I think he might just even use that switching or the healing effect as well. It's only 10 damage healed, but it's going to matter probably in the long run. And discarding 2 Metal Energies is also going to be pretty clutch. He can Metal Saucer one and attach one. He doesn't have any, of course, Coding Energies. But again, it is immune to a VMAX. So we're going to see a KO here on the Centiskorch V. And Josh is going to go ahead and take the first 2 prize cards of the game. And let's see what these 2 prize cards are. It's a Metal Energy. And it's another Zamazenta V. That's actually pretty clutch. That's going to be important, I think, in the long run. Okay, so we'll see here. Of course, if I think Alberto needs 2 more energies and a VMAX to get the KO on the Zacian. So he Giant Hearths, only finds 1 energy, so that is his last energy from his deck that he pulls out. And we see he does attach to the Centiskorch there, which means if he does have the VMAX, this will be the KO. He's gonna go ahead and quick ball. He probably has Pokécom in hand as well. Oh, he's gonna just do DAA out. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Gets rid of a boss, so I think he only has like 1 boss left in deck. Yeah, so we do find Pokécom. And he's going to Pokécom away the Jirachi for the VMAX. This means that he is getting the KO on this, on this Zacian. Not ideal. Not ideal at all, but I know that Josh does have that Zamazenta in hand, and he also has another Zacian in his deck as well. Maybe even 2 more. Oh, but he doesn't get the KO. Oh, my math was off. That's incredibly, incredibly important for Josh. Wow. That is amazing. Living on just 1 HP for this Zacian here. Wow, that is absolutely incredibly phenomenal. 5 energies on the Centiskorch VMAX. Not even gets the KO on a Zacian V. That is just incredible. That tells you how much coding energy and Metal Goggles can really do. Josh is just probably flabbergasted right now. He's like, I didn't account for this. Like, what's my play? I think you do probably put down that Zamazenta. And I don't exactly know here what the best players do you... Yeah, so he's like, do I Cynthia Caitlyn? I know his hand probably isn't too great. And Cynthia and Caitlyn might be the play. He doesn't want to manually attach here because he really wants to find a coding energy in his deck. He's going to go ahead, put the second Zamazenta down. I think honestly you Saucer and you Marnie, except he's going to Marnie before he Saucers. Which actually could also not be a terrible idea. He's going to put the 3rd energy on that Zamazenta V. So let's see here. I think really he's hoping for a switch off this Marnie. Potentially he could switch into that Zamazenta V. That would force his opponent. That would force Alberto. I guess he can just manually retreat. But that is going to force his opponent to go into the Heatran. And his opponent is all out of energies at this point, guys. So if Alberto is to go into the Heatran, move all the energies to Heatran and KO a Zamazenta V, that puts him in the position where it can get KO'd by the Zacian. And then all of a sudden Alberto is all out of energies, and with Zamazentas on the board, there's absolutely nothing that his opponent can do at that point that Alberto can do. So yeah, we're gonna see a manual retreat here into the Zamazenta. This is smart because again, you're really forcing your opponent to go into the Heatran, which seems, of course, at first glance like the correct play from Alberto, but it might not be. So you're kind of hoping that that's the sort of the path that your opponent goes. But only 1 energy on that Zamazenta, on that benched Zacian. There are Metal Saucers in deck and energy in deck. So really, you are hoping for an opportunity to get the KO on a Heatran. And I guarantee that Alberto will go into the Heatran here. It seems like really his best decision. He's got 5-card hand, and I believe he has something in hand to find it as well. And he just has it in hand. So here it is. If he has a way to switch, and he does, okay, so he is going to go into the Heatran, guys. So like I said, he's going to go into Heatran. He's going to move his energies to Heatran, and he has to move all 6 to the Zamazenta to get the KO, which is extremely important, which means that now every single last energy for Alberto in his entire deck is on this Heatran. The rest of them are in the discard pile. So he's going to go ahead, use his pop-off, his GX attack, gets the KO on this Zamazenta. Now, Josh is kind of against the ropes. He needs to set up the Zacian. He needs to get the KO. But his opponent has 4 prize cards, which means that this Zamazenta can go down. He really honestly has another turn. He just has to hope that his opponent doesn't have boss. He does find the switch, but he needs Metal Saucer and an energy before he switches, right? I think putting that second Zacian down is probably smart. Just in case he does boss you. It still puts you in a position where you technically can win. And unfortunately, he is going to have to Marnie out here, and he's going to have to hold that switch because he really needs to. He's thinking, he's like, do I do that? It sucks to get rid of that switch, but yeah, man, you really have to. And there we do not see Metal Saucer, unfortunately. We see an energy attachment. But again, he's fine because his opponent only has 4 prize cards. So even if does he split the energies between Zacians? That's the question. I think he does because next turn he's just going to dig, right? He's going to be able to attach and then dig. So no matter what happens, that is going to be his play. So, and he can Intrepid Sword, and he finds the Saucer there. So like I said, he has game in hand right now. Potentially, right, as like a lock because his opponent is all out of energy. So no matter what, he's going to be able to set up one of these Zacians next turn, and his opponent is not going to be able to take enough prize cards in time. So once this Heatran gets knocked out, guys, there's nothing that Alberto can do. That is literally like he's all out of energies at that point. That's all 13 energies in his deck. So an incredibly interesting end to this grand finals match. It's been an incredible set here. And I think Alberto kind of knows what's going on here. I think he understands. Yeah, so he's just going to go ahead and get the KO on the Zamazenta. But now he's really just hoping, right? He's like, oh, I hope my opponent just can't set up his Zacian, because if I get KO'd, I am screwed. But of course he is. He is going to be able to go ahead and get the Metal Saucer out. Yeah, I think he might as well just put it on the healthy Zacian. I don't think it'll matter, but I guess in the long run it might. So yeah, he's going to be able to go ahead and set up that Zacian. He's going to pop Lillie's Poké, go into the Zacian, get the KO on this Heat Red, and get rid of all... Wait. Oh, he's going to Mallow Lana. Okay, why not? That's actually kind of smart. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter at all, but yeah, that's kind of smart. Incredible. Okay, so we see a Mallow Lana come out. That Zacian gets healed up a little bit, and we do see a KO on this Heatran. So now Alberto's out of energies, and I don't believe, we can't see it here on screen, but I believe he has much less cards in deck than Joshua does, so this is a very difficult position. But anyway, Joshua has boss in hand too, right? So that means that really at the most in 2 turns that he'll be able to win. So incredibly interesting game here from Josh. He practically has it in just has game. There's really nothing that Alberto can do. And that was just a fantastic play from Joshua, man. He played incredibly smart. I think Josh did get a little bit lucky that Alberto wasn't really running a list that was super prepared for Lucmetal. But it just goes to show that how powerful Lucmetal can be if you don't actually specifically prepare for it, even though you are hitting for weakness. Those coding energies, those Zamazentas, as well as the Metal Goggles, they really can come in clutch in this matchup. So that really goes to show, guys, if you're playing Centiskorch, you might as well run Giratina. You might as also well just run like at least 1 Fire Crystal just for the late game, because you never know, right, when it's just going to come back and help you. He plays the double. I guess he's kind of just hoping to stall here, but Josh does have boss in hand, and it's only a matter of time before he gets the win. So yeah, he's just gonna attach here to Zacian and pass his turn, because next turn he does have game. So yeah, very impressive for both players, man. Congratulations to Alberto. Congratulations to Joshua for making it to grand finals. It was just a fantastic set. It's incredible to see Lucmetal get a win over a Centiskorch VMAX. But realistically, like I said, it's not a terrible matchup for Josh, and Josh is an incredibly smart player. His deck is absolutely phenomenal, and he knows how to play the matchup very, very well. So we see a boss come out. That doesn't actually matter. He can manually retreat. So that is going to be game, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching the grand finals from Chill Series number 17. Click like if you liked the video. Subscribe if you like the content and you want to see more in the future. Congratulations again to both players, and thank you guys so much for playing in Chill Series number 17. We do these every Wednesday. We've been having over 200 players every week. The support has been phenomenal, so thank you guys so much for watching, for playing, for subscribing to the channel. It means a lot to me. Yeah, we're going to get on out of here, so I'll see you guys soon.